What's going on YouTube? We're back again today with some regionals coverage. I'm not going to be showing any games. It's going to be just a quick video. Wanted to talk about some of the winning deck lists we had and some interesting tops. So without any surprise, I did mention this in my last video or in my videos recently. I thought Stagebeard was the deck to play because you wanted to beat obviously the Strawbeard mirrors, right? And Lord and behold, guess what wins? Not only the same deck, but a very similar build to what I had. He opted to have more Ace, less Whitebeards than I did. Cut back on the Squard and Vista a little bit in favor of the 2K counters that he added. He did an even split between Deuce and Sanji. And then obviously your staples in Jozu Otama. So congrats to Sergio. He got first with one of my favorite decks. Top 4, we also had Ivankov. Like I said, guys, blue is still a good deck. Do not sleep on it. It is still playable. And Jorge here proved it with a very interesting build. I've never liked the Boa Hancock blocker. It is something that was played in Japan. I just was never sold on it. But, you know, apparently it got him all the way. Which makes sense, because sometimes there are attacks when you're playing into Strawbeard or even Zoro that you can't counter out of, and you have to take the life. So being able to hit these blockers for free is pretty good. As well as the Sables. I'm not a big fan of events in our deck. Obviously, he was only playing the 1 plus the stages. But yeah. So, again, congrats to him for top 4. And then, obviously, we had tried and true Strawbeard. This deck is not going anywhere until OPO3. So, get used to it. Learn to adapt, people. Make adaptations. People are doing things differently. And I'm going to get onto that because I got to shit on one of my Facebook trolls. So yes, we had a top 4 straw and a law deck. This is top 16, not top 4, I believe, or top 8 actually. Either way, congratulations to you, Joshua. Amazing. He's running a very OPO1 style of deck. As you can see, the 8 cost kids and these Radical Beams. Radical Beam, an actually interesting tech. He's probably teching a little harder for the Zoro matchup. Zoro is harder than Straw. I'm going to say it again. Zoro is harder than Strawbeard for this deck. Zoro's much faster and puts a lot more pressure on you. Strawbeard is big, but manageable. So, Law is good deck. Guys, I did not forget the other tournament. It's just that we don't have deck lists. So if you just wanted to see who topped, if you guys know where the deck lists are, please let me know. But as far as we have it, Zoro did take one. We had first and second going to Zoro. So do not sleep on Zoro. Zoro's still a great deck in this metagame. But these was the top 16 for this tournament. We had Zoro's. We had a Doflamingo hit top 4, which is super interesting. Love to see what that was. We had double Newgate and double Zoro. So half of the top 8 was Zoro. I'm sorry, more than half. I can't count. We had 5 Zoros in the top 8. So like I said, Zoro's still a good deck. Can still go far. Like I said, Smoker, you can go pretty far, but it's just really hard for you to pull out a W. We have 2 Law in the top 16. Just want to rub that in that guy's face so bad. Kinemon. I actually had pegged Kinemon for being a big winner this weekend. Kid or Kinney, and we actually do have a Kid in the top 16. But I guess they couldn't find the W's, or maybe it was just bad luck. But we do have a little bit of diversity. We have a little Kinemon and Kid there, which is nice. And obviously more Newgate. Newgate was the deck to beat going into the weekend, and glad to see these players do well. We have no straws that won, right? It was just Stage, Law, Zoro. So there you guys go. If you wanted to see something else other than Strawbeard win a tournament, there you go. By the way, guys, try not to be too negative. like with, you know, oh, if you want to win, you can only play red. You can play other decks. You just, like I said, there are ways to win outside of just, well, I'm just gonna play whatever the top deck is. You just have to adapt. All right, back to the video. Law is good deck. Has been Facebook troll who said otherwise. So let's zoom this in a little bit for you guys. Let me full screen. So this was Cross AI. Congratulations to that guy. He's actually one of the first YouTubers for the game that I stuck with and was like following his shit and learning from him because he's an amazing player. We were both high on Law in the very beginning. I was taking ideas from him and using them to make my own decks. So congratulations to Cross for taking the W in the Illinois Regional. So here we are with a very similar build to what I had. We're literally only off by like, what, 2-3 cards, I think. So congratulations again. He opted to drop the Vista count, which I also thought was super interesting. Again, we're in a meta where if Stage was more prevalent, Vista kind of doesn't see a lot of value at all. Even against the black decks, it's a little hard to get this value unless you have your Otamos. So I can 100% respect 3. 3 is good. You don't want to see too much of it, but you definitely want to see at least 1 a game. So I understand the pick. I still like 4 Brook in my opinion, but he opted to have 3, again, just making space for these Radical Beams. Which is the card that he was high on for this tournament. Again, this is more Zoro Tech than Straw Tech. It's still a good card. Like, it'll always be an interesting out because your opponents always have to wonder, well, does he really have it or is he just bluffing? Because a lot of Lawless dropped it. We weren't playing it. So having this 2 of is really niche, but really good. And then, obviously, his difference from my Zoro list is he opted to have more Rush, and there's 1 of the starter deck Zoro. You can go back and forth on this, but I do like this split. So again, you Has-Been who did nothing since Treasure Cup and played mad random games that I've never heard of, that you got Worlds. Go fuck yourself. Law's a good deck. Tried to say that Law would never beat Straw, and guess what? I believe if I go look at Cross's Twitter, he beat 3 Strawbeards to make it. 3 Strawbeards and the Stage Beard to win the whole tournament. So I know what I'm talking about. I don't just do YouTube, guys. I'm following the metagame trends every fucking week, and if Bandai would just let me play the game, I could prove it, because these were my picks, and guess what? Stagebeard 1-1 and Law 1-1. So, but of course, we also had Zoro win. But before I jump into that, we have the second place runner-up for the Illinois Regional, if I'm not mistaken. He also played Stage, which, congrats. Unfortunately, the name of the player escapes me at the moment. But he made some interesting choices too. He was running a Rakuyo as a Spice Tech card, which is interesting. It's an interesting card. I don't like it, personally. He is playing the Blebin, which makes it more relevant. The reason I never liked this card until we hit OPO3, and then it kind of just falls out of flavor again anyway, was because we don't have early drops to take advantage of this. We don't have the Ezo search card. And then just like not having the boats. It's just a mixture of things that just kind of makes it awkward, in my opinion. So I'm not a fan of it, but he liked it. And then, like I said, the Blebins, which were interesting, just because I don't like the blocker without the counter stat. There's arguments to be made, well, why don't you just play Chopper? But either way, I worked for him. The Squad 2, Seaquake 2, and the Jet Pistols were interesting. From my older videos, if you guys have been watching, I did used to play a 1-of Jet Pistol, just because it's really good in like the mirror matches sometimes, and just clearing things like Ninebeard or random things like Law Blocker, etc. So I used to like having the 1-of. So I might play around with that again, but I still think 3 is probably good for Seaquake. Just because we're short on playables until set 3 for Whitebeard Pirate cards. So, by the way, awesome deck. It's a fun deck to play. I'm still don't know what I would play, whether it be the 9-drop variant that I built, or something like this. But either way, I like it a lot. So again, this is gonna be a short video today, guys. Just wanted to talk about some of the winners today. What you'll notice though is that black is not that great right now. Black is not bad, but it's definitely in a similar position to blue. Granted, this guy did top 4 with Ivankov, and it's definitely possible, but black and blue are in those spots where it's going to be really hard for them to pull out a top. Or by a top, I mean like a first place victory. It's just, they can't do everything against the meta. You can't remove everything with black. It's not going to happen against Law. That now that people realize, well, Law's not a bad deck. It sucks against Zoro, and both variants of Beard are annoying to deal with. They both have their cards that are problematic, being like Marco and then the rush cards from Straw. So black and blue are in a tough spot, but if you want to have fun with what you like to play, go ahead and still do it, because like I said, you can still get far. It's just much harder to pull off these first place finishes. But very happy with the way the metagame turned out this weekend. Proud of myself for making my predictions and being very correct. This is me following our trends plus Japanese trends. Because when Stagebeard started to actually be a relevant deck was right after Strawbeard blew up, and everybody was like, wow, this deck is good. And then, lo and behold, we had our Stagebeards coming out and taking W's because it's really good in the mirror. It's extremely hard for you to lose the mirror matches so long as you pull out the Moby Dick. And even then, you still have ways to win. Just because you have access to actual removal cards, whereas they don't. So, I like this a lot. Again, congratulations to my Law players, man. I'm so happy to see Law doing well. Right after I said that like it's a good deck and it does counter Straw, and I didn't lie, guys. So guys, like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. Go follow any of the content creators if you recognize any of the names. Sorry I don't remember the Stagebeard player who played Cross in the final. Your name escapes me at the moment. But go follow them, go see their reasons for their deck choices. Cross AI did a deck tech for the video, so if you want a deeper explanation on why he chose certain cards, go check him out. And of course, thank you to all our content creators who post the deck lists from all these tournaments. Orange Samurai does an amazing job. Anthony from the Moonman guys does a great job sometimes. Like, these guys are all over it. I'm so happy that we have this information available. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Pause at any time if you want to see like the deck lists. But fairly standard stuff, things we've already talked about. So with that said, guys, peace.